We're with Carilyne Hebert. You're going full francophone in this election. Congratulations on putting your name for it and being so young. I mean, you're under 30.
Thank you.
So, why run for city politics? You've been involved, federally and provincially with the National Party. What about Cornwall has triggered this?
Well, I was born and raised in Alexandria. I moved to Cornwall when I was about 12 years old, and right away I became a big Cornwall cheerleader. I love my city, and I think we've made a lot of progress, but I know that we can do so much more. And I'm taking a hands-on approach to making that change happen. Instead of sitting back and watching it happen or not happen, I want to be part of the change, part of the process, part of the decision-making.
This term has seen a lot of issues. We have the chemical tanks now at the waterfront. We've had the mayor's conflict of interest. We had the Paul Fitzpatrick scandal. There have been a number of things. Even this newspaper being boycotted by the city council and the city. What is it that you feel you can do to improve Cornwall, Ontario, if elected?
Well, I think one of my biggest things I want to talk about with the voters, with the citizens of Cornwall, is the fact that we are losing so many youth. We have a really great city, but I think it's not youth-friendly or senior-friendly. That's another issue. But we're losing a lot of young people. We need to make this place more youth-friendly, so retain our youth and engage them in the city. So ways of doing that, I mean, we have so much, and I think the city even has a plan, a youth retention plan, but I'd love to see it in action. I would love to see greater access to post-secondary education. Most of our young people that are leaving Cornwall are leaving because of education. They want to go for university or programs that aren't offered here at our college, and they're leaving and they're not coming back. So breaking that barrier would give them more of a reason to stay here.
No. Today in education, more and more people are doing online education, whether it be degree programs or college programs or even training programs. The problem that we're seeing with a lot of young people is retaining them is finding jobs after. We had someone that was a graduate of St. Lawrence College, got a great job at the city. As a matter of fact, she was on a billboard promoting the city and the college, yet her boyfriend couldn't get a good enough job to match what he had in Ottawa, and now we've lost that person and her salary and tax base to the city of Ottawa.
Yeah, I agree with you. Back in the day, if you had some kind of education, you were almost guaranteed employment. And I think what would make me different than the councillors we have now, and we have some great councillors, is that when they were my age, they dealt with different issues that I'm dealing with now, and that's one of them. Or not necessarily me, but my generation. And education doesn't always turn into a great paying job. I have a lot of friends with diplomas, degrees, bachelors even, and they're either working minimum wage, part-time, on-call, and can't seem to get that great paying job.
A lot of underemployed, and then we have a lot of trades jobs that are going, we have a shortage of trades.
Absolutely, and that's not being promoted as much. I think we have the people willing to do the jobs in the trades, but I think MTCU and the college could really make a great partnership there and advance that in our city.
MTCU.
Ministry of Training College University.
What do you feel that if elected, that you as a councillor could do though to help trigger that? Like what would a council do to help the job environment for young people, or anyone for that matter?
Well, I think, like I mentioned, the greater access to post-secondary education might attract higher paying jobs. Business owners who would be more interested in coming to Cornwall because we might have more educated people. Right now our education level is fairly low. I work in education. I'm helping people get their high school diplomas, college degrees, all of this online, and I'm seeing it every day. People have very low education level, and that kind of makes a difference in the kind of jobs we're bringing in. And we have new jobs coming in, but they're not high-paying jobs for the highly educated. So if we could again open the conversation about higher education, we might be able to bring in higher paid jobs.
Most of the jobs that have come to Cornwall in the past 18 months to 2 years have been distribution center type jobs, which the distribution centers are great that they're coming to Cornwall, but they take up huge swaths of our industrial park for very few jobs. A lot of them are cycle jobs. They're not long-term jobs. There's not a potential for a lot of them. And like you mentioned before, they're lower paying jobs. And our younger people with a lot of degrees in education are leaving, which is why we have that lower level here in Cornwall. Again, how do we attract, like you were talking about, companies and businesses to invest in Cornwall and come to Cornwall? Again, what is it that you feel you can do to help trigger that? I'm not trying to badge you on that one. What ideas do you have?
Yeah, well, there are different things. Just really increasing the quality of life in Cornwall would make a huge difference. There's so many things I would love to see. I'm on the university steering committee. So the idea of bringing something like that here would be unbelievable. So the people we would lose to university could stay here and contribute to our own community. I'm also in the multidisciplinary arts center community. The quality of life with an arts center here would boom and would bring in young families and businesses and appropriate space for all of our talented artists in the city and all multidisciplines, and give them a space to create and to contribute.
How long have you been on that committee?
Well, it was created
2 years ago, right?
A couple of months. Well, I think there was a committee who started and then
so you just joined it.
So just recently when it's kind of pulled through again, and so we've been, I think, together for a good 2-3 months now.
When you see $35 million spent on the Benson Centre and just about zero spent on arts, how does that make you feel?
Well, I'd love to see it to be distributed a little bit more fairly. However, the Benson Centre is a beautiful facility, and we are definitely benefiting. We have people coming in every weekend to use it, so the economy is benefiting because people are coming in. So it's not something that I feel negatively about. I think it's a really great space. And I think when we're talking multidisciplinary center, we're looking at a Benson Center for the Arts. So now the sports people have got their space. How about we have ours? And I'm not a very artistic person. I don't paint. I'm not. But I think we have a really amazing artistic community, and they would need a beautiful center like the Benson Center to produce their art in.
Politics is an art, though. It is, in its own way, it is art. Because without politics, our world wouldn't run properly.
You're right. It is an
We'd
art.
be in anarchy.
Yes, and that's not right.
So if I say that the word Cornwall to you, name me the first 3 positive things that come to your mind.
Our waterfront, our beautiful waterfront, our people. I think we have a really great community, really caring community, and I know this through my work with the Agape Center. When people are in need, our community pulls through somehow, and it's just unbelievable the support that organizations get. And the third thing, I think, just the beauty. Walk around our city, and the city does have plans for a waterfront. They have plans for public space. They have plans for a bike path. And I just want to see all those plans really become realities and encourage all of that development.
You mentioned the water path and you mentioned the waterfront. Right now, the biggest issue in Cornwall are the chemical tanks on the waterfront and the fact that the mayor still hasn't said he doesn't want them. And, we've had already 2 rallies where the public has clearly shown a disdain for the chemical tanks. They don't want them there. If you were elected, what would you do? How do you think you'd handle the situation?
It's hard to say. I don't know how much one individual councillor can do, but if we elect 10 progressive minds together, then we can make a difference. And I'm not saying we need 10, but if we at least have half of our council willing to fight for issues like this, then we can probably get more accomplished.
Don't you think, though, that when people are being asked to vote for a councillor, we're voting for leadership?
Right.
So it's not a matter, like a lot of councillors will immediately jump and say we should get a consultant. And they're looking for advice and help instead of the fact that we want to vote for people that will lead us.
Of course. And I consider myself a bit of a worker bee. So instead of asking somebody for the answer, I'll go out there and I'll try to find it. I'll try. I was talking about our recycling system with some people recently, and they were like, well, who can we talk to, and instead of asking somebody a question, why don't I just go and find out for you? So I think I'll take that kind of approach when it comes to being a councillor, and actually do the footwork and find out what people need to know and want to know, and represent those who represent the people of Cornwall the best I can. By representing their voice, being their voice on council.
And where do you see Cornwall in 10 years, 20 years, 50 years?
Ideally, a big, booming, beautiful city with a gorgeous waterfront and a tourism area that people are coming from all over the province and the country to visit. We're in a perfect location with Montreal and Ottawa and even Toronto being so close. We should really take advantage of that, and our tourism should be booming. I've worked for the tourism agency before, and we have some really great things happening in the city, but there's again so much more. We have so much potential. It's a beautiful city, and I love living here, and I can't wait to raise my family here. there's so much more we can be doing.
All right, thank you and good luck.